Hi, everybody, and welcome
Hello.
to Buenavidaroute
Welcome.
and to another one of our lives. So, today we have a very special guest. His name is Preston, and we're going to invite him in.
Hi, Preston.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
Oh,
hey guys.
Was it pretty smooth? We've been trying to make it smoother for people to join us.
Oh, it was super smooth actually. I've never done this before and I was like, oh, I had no questions.
Easy peasy? Good. Yeah, this is only our third time doing it on YouTube.
uh-huh.
So we were
Okay.
used to doing it on Instagram, and it was always super easy. And then on YouTube, we had to find out how to do it. Because I don't know that you know that you can't really do it directly on YouTube until you have 1,000 viewers and 4,000 watched
Mhm.
hours, which we are far away from that.
Oh, I know the struggle. I
Right?
know the struggle.
That's insane. Oh my
I know.
god.
So we've been so actually doing the lives has helped definitely for some of the viewers to be able to have a little bit more interest in, and I think just getting to know people a little bit better makes it different, right? Because they
Yeah.
have more invested in like you as a human being. So yeah.
hmm
All right. Well, for those that don't know you, let's have you introduce yourself.
All right. So like you said, my name is Preston. Travel vlogger, adventurer, veteran, all the above. I started my business say in the wrong year, 2020. I don't know what possessed me to start trying to travel vlog in 2020, during COVID. So that really, I don't think I went anywhere. So I didn't vlog anything for the whole year.
But
Um,
but if anything, I think that a lot of people started things like that in 2020 just because they realized I don't really like what I do, and they tried to look for something that they were more passionate about.
hmm
correct. And that's exactly what happened. I literally, even currently right now, I have a full-time job. I'm in cybersecurity, which
Okay.
is pays very well, but you want to talk about boring. I mean, it's extremely boring. And so through this course, in the last year and a half, I just really found my passion. Like I love traveling. I love meeting new people. I love introducing myself to new cultures, talking about my culture to other people, just things of that nature. And it's just really been a blast. So therefore, that's why I started vlogging. Trying to do the whole YouTube thing, and that's been a its own conversation. It's been a rough, just trying to get people to subscribe and give you the watch hours. So it's been fun. I mean, I can't complain too much. Like I said, I do have a job, so it's not like my life depends on the vlogging part. But I
Uh-huh.
would like to make that transition as soon as possible whenever I do get the watch hours and subscribers and things of that nature.
So all of those travel videos that you have on your YouTube, which by the way, I love your intro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
it's super cute with the little dash and that just goes, the squiggly line that goes. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Um, all that has been happening in like literally the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
El
Um,
Salvador, Ecuador,
yeah.
all of the East Coast here in this country, Peru, all of that has been in less than a year and a half.
That's all been since March of 2021.
Wow. That's pretty
Damn.
cool.
And I've been to a lot more places that I just wasn't vlogging. So I lived in Europe, more specifically Germany, for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So I
Wow.
lived in Germany for 3 years, and I promise you, almost every weekend I was in another country or another city, but I
Wow.
wasn't vlogging at the time.
Right.
And my pictures were horrible. Like I can't even use those pictures. Like I think I had a what phone? I think I had like a Note 2, and I was just snapping pictures, not even composition, nothing. I was just like, I'll take a picture, or I just try to remember that, for like later in life. And
Right.
then I transitioned into the content creation part of it, and then I was like, oh man, my pictures are horrible. So I was like, I can't even use these pictures, and I didn't do any vlogging or video taping of anything. So yeah.
Was that something you had to learn? I mean, for us, it was like
Yeah.
we actually wanted to do this, but we didn't have any of the technical background on how to use the camera. We don't even really know how to use our cell phones appropriately.
No.
We didn't know anything about the equipment. We didn't know how to record video, meaning like, it's not the same of like you're just walking down whatever hike you're doing and recording, then like to like record with the purpose
hmm
of then showing it to public, right? So all of that has been a completely learning curve for the both of us. I think Andres has been a whole lot better about learning that than I have. I still like grab the camera and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
Yeah. Well, let's just say, okay, so I do have an IT background, which people just assume I'm just real techie. No, not at all. Like I have my niche in my cybersecurity field. That's what I do. I don't, deviate out my lane. I don't do none of that. So with that said, I actually started a travel podcast with my best friend.
Oh, how
and
fun.
We just uploaded it. We was recording off of Zoom and things of that nature. And then that spiraled into the travel vlogging part of it. And I'm talking about, it was horrible because I didn't know anything about the hashtag. Because like I said, my generation, we didn't have hashtags. We had the pound sign. So I didn't know how to use.
Probably your generation is about our generation.
Yeah. So I just didn't know. I was like, hashtags, what is this? And, so to be honest with you, my first several months, I would say maybe the first 6-7 months were just trial and error. Didn't know what I was doing. I was using a GoPro. I think I was using a GoPro 9 at the time. And so what happened was I met a guy at my job who he's into content creation, but not in travel, but just something else. And he was like, oh man, I hired a social media guy and he's teaching me how to, do this. So I got that person's number, and that person wasn't even in America. They're actually based out of South Africa. Ooh, and wow. He taught me so much. I had to pay him. It was quite expensive as far as I'm concerned, but I had to pay him. And it was actually a really good learning because he taught me how to do the hashtag. He was doing it all for me because I was paying him, but I was learning in the same time. Right. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use him. So he actually revamped my page. He actually created a whole new page for me. And I just had to just learn because I knew it's something I wouldn't be able to keep up forever. Right. So I took about a year and a half, and I literally, so in the last, I say 2 months, I've been doing my own editing. I had to learn how to edit, and it's actually, it is very tedious if anybody that knows about editing. Yeah. But I do say it is rewarding to see, something that I created, on YouTube. So, yeah.
Yeah, Andres has started to learn how to edit. We actually have been hiring an editor to do our videos because at the beginning, we still, or at least I keep a full-time job and he helps out as well. And he's been doing a bunch of other things.
I used to be a soccer coach, and when the pandemic hits,
Yeah. And so, so that being said, I told him, I said, you're going to have to take the reins on this a little bit more in trying to learn all of this. So for sure, he's been the one that has taken all the courses on how to use the photographic camera and also how to record. And so we got him what we think it's better at it, at least. To just make sure that you do it from the beginning to the end and all the little nuances. And sometimes it just get tedious because you're like, I want to just enjoy the trip and not feel bounded by the idea that you're everything I eat, everything I do, everything.
Yes.
Schoolie Bye say hi. Nora say hi.
Hey.
Schoolie
Vibes, her name is Stephanie.
Yeah, Andres is becoming a pro
at filming. Thanks, Steph. So yeah, we for sure Andres has learned way more than I have. But now, I understand. Sometimes I've traveled to other countries and he's like, no, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay, then I'll do it. And now he's starting to learn how to video edit. I don't necessarily think that it'll be more for us to not hire the person who we have hired, but more just so that I think the struggle when you don't edit yourself is that you create in your head a vision of what you want the video to look like, because of course you lived the experience. And then it's hard to communicate to that other person what it was that you lived and how you would like to portray. So that for sure, I feel if we knew how to do it ourselves, even though it would probably be going to bed at 2:00 in the morning every day to try to do it.
Yeah, but editing takes a lot of time. It's what I noticed.
Time and patience, it seems like what it is, which I don't have very much of either.
It's definitely a lot of hours. I've learned that in the last couple of months, and luckily, the guy that I was using, he created like pretty much like a template. So like the intro, the outro, stuff like that, the pop-up boxes, he gave that all to me. So all I had to really do was just plug and play like the music and stuff like that. But that took a lot of like cutting, editing, things of that nature. It was really a beast. And like luckily, my best friend, the one I started the podcast with, that's what he do in real life. So he does that, and he kind of like taught me some other little things. So right now I'm learning After Effects because I want to like, actually get some graphics on there just to try to like, make it, I guess aesthetically pleasing, to the people, whatever. And I'm trying to make it a little bit more cinematic and things of that nature. And so I'm
cinematic.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like, shoot things a little bit more different, like I guess going forward. And but it's hard. Like I said, I'm on like a one-man show. So I work 40 hours a week, I'm booking travel. I'm, talking to hotels, trying to create content for them or, just stuff like that. It's really hard because I have to go back, edit what I just did. And like I said, like I know my wife and I, we just did a trip to Mexico back in December and it was supposed to be vacation, right? But I said, babe, I'm not rich enough to just go to Mexico and not vlog this. So I was like, we gotta, every experience that we have, we gotta take advantage. And she was just like, by the third day, she was like, man, I thought this was vacation. And I actually had to apologize to her because I was like, wow, like every second I was like, oh, don't eat that yet. Let me take a picture of it. Oh, don't eat that because I gotta make sure we, So it was just like kind of ruining the moment sometimes when she's like, I'm thirsty. Well, wait a minute. Let me get a picture of this drink, So yeah, but that's just the life of a content creator.
It's probably something that just happens to all of us that love traveling, but are trying to create content where you're like borderline, like, oh my God, I just want to enjoy the moment, but at the same time, it's like, but I need the content, know. So yeah, there's moments when we've gone out camping with friends and things, and also I feel like there's moments where you're so in what it is that you're doing and enjoying the moment that you completely forget. And then you sit down at the computer, you're like, oh crap, I never recorded that. Like now I don't have anything to put on this video.
Yes. Yeah, it is difficult.
But part of me is like, those were the greatest moments, right? The moments that you completely forgot about recording and you're just living in it and you're enjoying it. And I'm sorry to all the people that don't get to watch it, but that's why we encourage people to travel so that you can enjoy it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's like a double-edged sword, especially at the rate that I put out content. Like I put out content every week, like just a new video. Well, I just changed my day to Thursday at noon, but literally every Thursday I have a new video. Like even right now I'm on travel. I'm in Las Vegas. And I'm here with my family. I got to take away from my family time, to do stuff like this. But to me, when I started my LLC, because this is literally my business that I'm trying to get off the ground. So, it's one of those things like if you're self-employed, technically, if you don't work, you don't eat, or, you don't make money, or you don't whatever. So pretty much that's how I look at it. The grind don't stop for anything.
Right.
So even though, yes, I'm on vacation, I have my family. Like I literally was just hanging out with my sister-in-laws and, brother-in-law, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, 6:55, let me walk off from you guys. And now I'm in the bedroom barricaded because I have my little kids and they're running, trying to play with daddy, so. But I take this very seriously.
We're very grateful that you're barricaded. We wouldn't have minded the kids or the wife or everybody to be part of it either.
Are you sure? Because I'll go out there right now. Don't tell me what a good time.
We're sure.
Oh, you know what?
The more the merrier.
The crazy part is I asked my wife because we had early, well, I guess it was like a late lunch. I was like, hey, you want to be on a camera? She's like, no, they didn't ask me. I was like,
oh, we should have asked you, but we just kind of assumed that your wife was going to be in it because she's in your videos. So
I asked my wife, you know what? Hold on, let me see. Let me go out here. It might get a little noisy because, like I said, all the cousins are here.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Let me see.
We're getting a room tour.
Where's my wife? Probably.
A room tour.
They want to meet you guys. I told you, babe. They wanted to. They said they thought you was gonna be on her.
Hi.
Hello.
So this is my wife.
How are you?
Good, good. Or you guys in a room with like a full-on kitchen, I
Right.
see.
You say your
Hi.
name? You kind of low. Hello.
I'm Sherry.
Andres.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Reggie.
Nice to meet you, Reggie.
So that's Reggie. They can, I can barely hear you. I can.
Hi.
Hey,
Oh my
y'all
God.
doing? I'm John. Nice to meet you. All
Nice
right.
to meet you.
I'm the wife's sister. I'm Javay. Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I'm the wife's Hi. I'm Cherie. I'm Levi's twin sister.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Everybody there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. So yeah, that's like I said, we're just hanging out, enjoying each other's company.
So where are you all from originally?
You said what?
Where are you from
Oh,
originally?
I ran into that door. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to relocate.
It's all right.
Yeah. So did you say like where's everybody from?
Where are you guys from originally?
Mhm.
Oh, so originally I'm from St. Louis,
Oh,
and
Missouri.
then I relocated to the East Coast after the Army. So after the Army, I relocated to the East Coast, and I've been there since 2016. So pretty much everybody is from the East Coast.
Nice.
And on the East Coast, what state?
Oh, Virginia. Just
Virginia.
between North Carolina all the way up to Jersey.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's where the majority of my dad's side of the family lives, in Jersey.
Oh, I lived in Jersey for about, I want to say about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
Back in the late 90s. That was where was that? Asbury Park.
Oh, okay.
I was in the Asbury Park area for about a year and a half. And then I don't know, I moved to Jersey after I left St. Louis, and it was a big change. Thank you. It was a big change from I guess Midwest living to East Coast. Like a lot of kids made fun of me because there's like, oh, you sound country and you sound this. I'm like, what you talking? And like I said, when you're in it, you don't really notice it. And you know how kids can be. Kids can be, mean or whatever. And I'm just like, what do you mean I sound country? So it's funny. So it was just one of those things, and I just like, it was just totally different. And I think that's kind of like sparked the whole journey.
Have an accent?
You said what?
As if people from New Jersey don't have an accent?
They don't think they do.
They sure do.
That's what I thought, but I guess it was just totally different than I guess Missouri, I guess at the time. So yeah.
One question I have.
You coming in kind of low.
Let's see.
Our volume is high. We hear you fine. Maybe
Hold
it's
on,
your
let me go back to the room because I can hear you better in the room. I went outside.
Probably it's
Give me
that.
1 second.
Thank you, everybody, to watch us.
I probably should have grabbed my headphones. No, I have my headphones in here. Thank you, though. I'm so sorry about this.
No, it's totally fine.
That's
It's
okay.
fine.
It's one of those the moments of life, right?
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I think it sparked the interest of. Make sure I got my headphones. But it sparked the interest of just learning about different cultures, even that little bit of, moving from St. Louis to New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. Which country do you like the most?
You said what?
Which country have you liked the most?
Oh, the country? Oh, Egypt.
I know. I was going to ask you about that because I watched that video.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you so emotional about Egypt?
I'm trying to tell you. Let me make sure these things connect. Oh man, what happened?
No, stay here.
Can't get my headphones to connect. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
That's right.
Don't worry.
But yeah, I'm sorry. But Egypt, yes, Egypt is definitely. I would never change that. I don't care where I go. It could be to the moon. It doesn't matter. Egypt is my favorite.
When did you go to Egypt?
2018, I think. I think it was 2018.
Oh, okay. So
I went for about 2 weeks. I got to visit several cities. I visited Giza, Cairo, Saqqara, Memphis, Luxor, Sharm el Sheikh, and Alexandria.
Wow.
Wow, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but I didn't get a chance to vlog it because I wasn't vlogging back then, and I'm so upset about it because I don't have any videos really. So I'm like, I got pictures that I sparingly put on my what I call back Throwback Travel Thursday.
Right.
That I use, different pictures I've been in.
And did you travel with all your family or just by
It
yourself?
was my wife and I. We went for our anniversary.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And what made you so emotional about Egypt?
To be honest with you, my mother is very how we say pro-black, and she just really instilled just how important it is to just have pride in your culture. So and she always gave me books when I was a little kid to read, and that's one of the books that stuck with me, just learning about just the Egyptians itself and just the culture. And that was just something that I always wanted to do. And I mean, honest with you, I never thought I would see it, especially not at that young age. It just seemed like Egypt might as well have been on like another planet.
Right.
And when I was able to, to afford it, and I was like, well, I want to share it with my wife, and we went. And I'm telling you, when I saw the pyramids of Giza, like I got so emotional. I just wanted to be honest with you, I just really wanted to cry because it was just that, just that thing, just to fulfill something that you've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just like, and I think all travelers have a, like they have that it list. Like, okay, yeah, I want to see the world, but it's certain things or certain little checkpoints. You're like, oh, I have to do this. And when I do this, I will feel maybe not complete, but you will feel like, okay, I'm getting there. So
yeah, you're filling up that gap that you have, or that need that you, I don't know. For me too, I think like when I was a kid, I did a lot of travel with my dad. My dad was always very bohemian, moving from one place to another, but he instilled in us the passion for traveling. But there's for sure a lot of places that, before the internet, even before TV, when we would just get the National Geographic magazine.
Yeah.
I remember that magazine.
And mind you, we would get it probably a few months down the road because I lived in Costa Rica. And so it wasn't like immediate. And just flipping through a magazine like that and looking at all the amazing pictures, right? You're like, one day I'm going to be able to go here. And
yes,
for me, it happened because my grandfather, he has a library with almost 1,000 books. And I remember that I always check the places around the world, and I say, oh, I want to go this way. That's
awesome.
This place. Yeah. That's why I say.
Yeah, that's like I said, I don't know, man. I think my wife looks at me sometimes like, because she's a traveler, but just not to my level. Like I am like all in, and I completely changed my lifestyle to accommodate my travels. Like some of my hobbies, I mean, I love motorcycles. I love, buying guns and stuff, and just tattoos and things of that nature. And I cut back on all that. I was like, I don't need another gun. I don't need no more tattoos. I don't need this and that. Just so I can travel. And like you said, like, I've been to a lot of places in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And people always looking at me like, do you work? And I'm like, yes. But when I take off for work, it's for travel. It's not just to be like, oh, I'm going, I'm going to stay at home this weekend. No. I take full advantage.
And when you travel, you learn a lot of things about other cultures, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, like even people that know me, I used to be in a motorcycle club a few years back, and I still have. So I'm a Harley rider. I'm about to sell my Harley, and people look at me like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes." Like that thing is going bye, and I'm using it to buy property, international property. That's my goal. Next year is to buy international property, take the proceeds of me selling my motorcycle and trying to buy me a condo in Mexico next year. Just because I just want to like have international property. And I think that's a way for me to try to generate passive income. So if I can like Airbnb it. So my goal is in the next 10 years to have about 5 or 6 properties. So that way I can just generate, income, and I can just leave that crazy 9 to 5.
All right. Well, if you ever decide on buying one in Costa Rica, let me know and I can help you out.
Oh, Hey, I'm not pigeonholed to Mexico, so I have yet to beat him. I haven't been to Costa Rica yet.
Well, when you want to go, you also let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I definitely will.
That was my first career, tourism in Costa Rica, and I know it like
Really?
the back of my hand. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Really
okay. You know, another thing. I need to learn Spanish. I took years of Spanish. I mean, like years. I think I took Spanish in 8th grade, all 4 years of high school, 2 years in college, and I forgot all that stuff.
You know what it takes to learn Spanish?
What?
Moving to a Spanish-speaking country.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. That's what I need to do.
Actually, we are watching this couple.
Oh yeah. Do you follow Snow and Kurt?
I don't think so.
No, they're
Wow, you are
there
going
are a
to love
couple
it.
from Florida that in 2019 sold everything they had. They were in the construction business.
Mhm.
I think they were like contractors, really. And
Okay.
they sold everything they had. They bought themselves a van. They did a year in the U.S. Then they rode down to Mexico. But their idea was to keep on going. But of course, in Mexico, they got caught up in the pandemic. So they were almost a year in Mexico. But now they're all the way down to Ecuador. And we've watched their whole series. When
Wow.
they first got on their van and went to Mexico, like they didn't even speak hola.
Mm-mm. No,
And
Really?
now they've been almost 2.5 years in Latin America, and she has a little bit of a harder time. She had a harder time moving around because she had an issue with her knee, so she ended
Yeah,
up
knee
having knee
problems.
surgery in Medellin.
Medellin.
That's where Andres is
I'm
from.
from Medellin.
Oh, okay.
But so she wouldn't venture outside of the van as much as her husband would. But now her husband is like, he can go up to anyone and just have a conversation with them, which is
Oh,
great.
that's
So it's
awesome.
taking them, it's taking them that long, but for sure now they can communicate. So that's why I'm saying, like, and just so you know, there's actually a song, I'll send it to you, that it says, qué difícil es aprender el español, which means why is it so hard to learn Spanish? And it's these two guys
Mhm.
who get a master's degree in Spanish here, and then they move to Spain thinking that they know Spanish, and then the song starts saying things like, I moved to Spain and I realized I didn't know Spanish, and then I went to Mexico to get a PhD and I realized I didn't know Spanish, and then I moved to this country and to that country and to that country, and then they start saying like how in this country we call this, and how in this country we call that, and how like in some countries that could be a bad word, and
No,
in some countries
no,
it's
but-
hilarious. the
But,
song.
but even for us, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've bettered our Spanish from living in California, because we
Yeah.
obviously mix with a bunch of other Hispanic
Yeah.
people, and so
Yeah.
you're like, what do you call this in your country? And so you end up learning all the different not only slang, but also just how
New
things,
words.
new words and
Yeah.
new phrases and new everything.
Mhm.
And so and now obviously watching TV in Spanish, like we just recently watched a series where there was Mexicans, Colombians, Venezuelans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans all within the same series. So, you're listening to all the different accents and all the different ways of saying things, but it's wonderful because before, at least when we were kids, I don't know
Mhm.
about in Colombia, but when I was a kid, well, Costa Rica has never really had that much TV per se, but so we would get television mostly from Mexico. So it would be all Mexican and all of them speaking as Mexican Spanish. So there was a lot of influence of that. And then a lot of like Colombian telenovelas, which we would get as well. So we
Mhm.
would get influence from that. But other than that, you didn't really get to see other people speak. And so nowadays it's great that actors also travel from one country to another and are able to. And Netflix has also been
Yeah, Netflix
really
is
great about integrating people from
Yeah.
Spanish speaking countries into the shows that they produce. So that's great. So maybe what you need to do is start watching more Spanish speaking television.
So that and that's interesting that you said that. I literally tried to I paid for a private tutor a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, and just so I can get the ball rolling again, because I knew I was going to be traveling to a lot of Latin countries and stuff like that. But it was just like so hard for me. And then like my tutor was just like, you need to watch Telemundo like 6 hours a day, and And I was just like, because it's like for me, even my wife was talking about this other day. You know, English, well, English speaking teachers that speaking, that teach Spanish, it just don't even sound the same,
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm classically, I guess, want to say trained or whatever. But when I get dropped off in, Mexico, Ecuador, or, Guatemala, or whatever, it's like, ooh, I only hear a couple of words. I'll be like, okay, let me just pick up a couple of words and, navigate that way because I know this word means this. And so I can just use my little context clues. But I really do want to become a lot more proficient in
But
at least conversational Spanish.
It does definitely work. When I moved back to this country when I was about 12 years old, that's what I did. My dad completely stopped anything that had to do with Spanish. So I was listening to radio in English. I was watching TV in English.
That's the only way that you learn.
I would go and pick up children's books to learn a language, but not like ESL books, but just kids books.
Okay.
Because the difference is like you will see apple and then you see an apple, and you see motorcycle and you see a motorcycle, right? A little drawing or a picture of a motorcycle. And so your brain connects the words with the different things. And the other thing is like, forget about learning grammar and all of that. You don't need to learn how to write or read. You just need to learn the phrases. One of the easy things about Spanish, I would say, is that it's very phonetic.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. 3 people say hi. Diego, say hi. Milagro, say hi. And Natalia Maria Restrepo, say hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hola, hola. So, that definitely makes a difference of like connecting with the words. But I have a proposition. I've been teaching Andres's cousin English on Monday nights.
Yeah.
So what you should do is Andres should teach you Spanish, and you can teach him English.
Yeah.
Hey,
you can do that.
I'm all about it.
Yeah,
anything helps.
It's really important to know different language. Like I'm trying to learn Portuguese too, and I because I wanna have like with somebody from Brazil and
yeah, somehow we end up having a lot of Brazilian followers on Instagram.
Okay.
I think it's also it's just interesting how after Argentinians, Brazilians are the ones that end up doing more of a nomadic life in Latin America than anyone else. And so we have tons of Brazilian followers, which thank you to all of our Brazilian followers. But
happy people.
So he's been trying to improve on his Portuguese so that hopefully one day we can have a live with one of our followers.
Oh man, I was so lost in in Brazil. I went to Rio I went to Rio in 2020, like the very, very beginning of 2020. And I thought there was going to be some overlap of Spanish and Portuguese. I was like, oh, this ain't working at all. I was just like, okay.
No. Even for us that we're fluent in Spanish, I still I might grab a slim of like little bits of words here and there.
I understand because one of my ex-girlfriend was from Brazil, and I always speak all the conversation with her. Okay, and I know this, I know that. I say, okay, I got it.
At least if we're lost, you can get directions.
Exactly.
Or he would know if somebody's cursing at us.
Exactly.
Wow, man, that's important. You
It's
gotta know your
important
surroundings.
to know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's your next plan for your next travels?
So, one of my major travel goals is to visit all 50 states.
Nice.
So right now, I think the last count was either 28 to 30. So I have a few more left. So that's what I'm trying to tackle in the next. I'm trying to be done with by December of 2023. I want to have all the rest of the states knocked out. And then, and then here and there, I do want to visit some countries like this fall. I know I'm going to Argentina.
Nice.
I'm going to visit a few cities in Argentina. And I definitely want to go to Chile, especially how they lifted some of their restrictions. I want to go because I saw a ticket the other day from Washington, D.C. to Chile. It was like maybe $500, almost $600 round trip. And I was like, I can't beat that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you got to jump on the offers for sure. Well, I do know someone in Chile. She actually used to work for national parks in Chile. So I might be able to ask her about that. And,
yeah.
And we know people in Argentina.
And we know tons of people in Argentina, one of which is a great barbecuer. So
Oh, yeah, I
Martin.
need you to go ahead and,
Yeah.
slide in my DMs and let me know.
Yeah.
Martin does some mean meat. So
Mhm.
yeah, we'll maybe hook you up with him. And he's also in the tech world. He creates like
Okay.
websites, and he used to do all of my SEO for our website at my business.
That's what I got to get better at is my SEO. My
Yeah.
SEO. I have to definitely, because that really makes or break your channel or website or whatever.
Is what we are doing now.
Yeah, we've just recently learned more about it, and Andres' cousin is really good at it. So she's been helping us out, I think, for
Mhm.
like the last maybe 3 videos.
Yeah.
It's been.
Okay.
She's gonna go back into her older videos to try to implement it so that hopefully we get a bit more views going. But definitely our last few videos have been doing way better from the get-go than what we used to do. We
Oh, that's
maybe
wonderful.
yeah,
Have you
maybe
guys used what's it called? Like YouTube Buddy or Travel? What is it called?
we've been using VidQ.
Okay.
Yeah. Or she's been using VidQ. I don't even know what happens in it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, she does a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it with her, and amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped us, because I feel like before we would post a video and we would maybe get like 40 something views on the first day. Now we're getting like upwards of 100 views on the first day.
Mhm.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're not getting to like the thousands of views per video, but we're definitely doing a whole heck of a lot better than before.
I think this is step by step. This is a process. We need to do it slowly but surely.
One of the things that we've also struggled with when we record is that I think we don't like talk enough as we're
Mhm.
recording, and people tend to like the videos more where you're like being a little bit more chatty. And
Yeah.
so we record a lot of like the pretty stuff, and then we do like the voiceovers, and I don't think that that's nearly
Yeah,
as,
but
as like
I'm doing it in Spanish. She's doing it in English.
yeah, that was one of the other things that we started doing maybe like a good 6 videos back.
Uh-huh.
That Andres kind of struggled a little bit more with getting the information through in English. And so we were like, why don't we just do it in both languages? And then we just do subtitles.
Mhm.
And we had an expert supposedly tell us that wasn't the greatest of ideas, just because once you get to the point where you can actually monetize, you get more money if the video is in English. And we were like, you know what, but we don't really care. We rather be inclusive of more people that follow us, because we are Spanish speaking people as well, than like what are we going to make? Maybe $20 more, $30 more at the long run. I rather just make sure that our community also knows that we are proud of being who we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's definitely important.
Stephanie says that she just subscribed to your channel.
You know what? Blessings to you, Stephanie. I appreciate that, because I'm telling you. And to be honest with you, I'm always harping on this, and people probably get tired of me talking about it. But and as it's just, you guys are content creators, you can definitely understand this.
Mhm.
That have you ever like your content, and I'm about to assume that you think your content is good, right? And
Yeah.
and it's like, but when you see somebody, and it's like, let's say you get 100 views, and you're like, man, this video was really nice. We get 100 views, and then you see somebody else, vlog, and it's like they got billions of views, and you be like, they didn't put the effort of like having a stable camera, or just the aesthetics look horrible, the audio could be horrible. You'd be like, how are they doing so much better? And that's what I struggle with at times. And I always, I just be like, wow, what am I doing wrong? And I know one of the big things, like you said, is the SSO, but I don't know. I just sometimes it just kind of like frustrates me.
I agree. Andres gets really frustrated, and maybe I just don't put that much mind into it. I think part of it is that we, like you, we still have a job that puts a roof over our head and puts a food plate in front of us. So I guess we are not as, how would I say, sacrificing for this, right? But Andres really gets frustrated, and there's like a particular couple that does pretty much the same as we do. And
I'm putting 100% onto this,
right,
because it's my passion, and it's our passion in so many different ways.
That's why I was saying that it was more me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And That's why I say, okay, we don't put 100%, we are not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah, because it's the way it's supposed to do.
But sometimes even when you do put 100%, like I'm not gonna name names, but like there's another couple that actually we were the one that told them. We were like, hey, when you guys aren't you doing YouTube? All you're doing is Instagram. And they started doing YouTube after us.
Mhm.
And yet now they have like thousands of followers. And when we look at their videos, we're like, they're not bad, but they're not they weren't as thoughtful as some of the content that we try to create, right? And visually they weren't.
But they not tech. That's the
Yeah. So I think the difference is that they both are more techies. They're definitely they're what, like maybe 15 years younger than we are,
Mhm.
and so that might be a difference. But one of the things, like we actually talked about this with Stephanie in one of our last lives that we did with her, is the fact that we don't understand why people are so like if you're doing well and you already figured out whatever that click is or whatever that secret is, why are you being so selfish and not sharing it? Because we're not competing. All of us will have a different audience, and just because someone is watching your channel does not mean that they are necessarily not going to watch our channel, or vice versa. So to us is like, we are always trying to help people. We're always trying to give people tips of what we've been able to learn.
Yep.
And yet we don't understand why other people are like, oh, well, no, you guys just need to do this, or, you should improve on this, that type of stuff. And so
we need to figure it out ourselves.
It's been a little frustrating. And so for sure, like, even when it's this channel that's also starting out, we've reached out to other channels that are in the travel world to say, hey, you guys want to do a live? We've been doing a whole lot better with lives. We see that you have an X amount of subscribers and an X amount of, videos watched for videos type of thing. Would you be interested? And some of them like don't even bother to reply back. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
I know.
You're probably in the same struggle than we are. Like, let's help each other somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my pet peeves is support, like real support. Like some people, it's including my friends, family, they think support is like, oh, I subscribe to your channel. All right, man, that was step one. Step one was subscribing. I need you to go step two. Step two is watch it. And not only do you watch it, watch the whole thing in its entirety.
Exactly.
Because watch hours are crucial. They're just as crucial as having the subscribers, right? And anybody that's in a content creator space who is trying to get monetized on YouTube, we know this. We know, like, when somebody click on our video, we're hoping that they watch 90 to 100% of the video, as much as possible. And that's what I harp on, because I do an IG live every Wednesday with different topics, and I would love to have you guys on in the future. That I always say that I'm like, yo, why people? I just don't understand. Like, I had a friend, literally, he had told me, he said, hey man, I watched your video. I watched about 2 minutes of it, and then I clicked off. But you're good, right? Because I gave you the view. No, man, I need you to watch the whole thing.
Right.
And then what I have found out through these courses of these conversations, people that are not content creators do not know that.
Right.
And that's maybe they mean no harm, no foul, but I need you to watch it. And I tell them, I'll be like, look, man, I don't care if you watch it and walk away, leave it playing. And I tell people all the time, I'll be like, look, man, I don't care if you watch. I mean, I care that you watch it, and I hope you enjoy it. But at the end of the day, we need them watch hours, and so we can get monetized. Because, for me, like you, we put a lot of work into it. Even if we are not putting a whole 100% into it, like we still putting work, we still putting that time. You get off work, like even right now, like I have to edit some video tomorrow, and if I don't edit, it don't get done, but it just doesn't stop. Like, I'm always constantly emailing people. I'm always constantly, trying to better my brand. Right. Like I said, since it's a team of me, I'm always trying to think of ideas. Like my wife, she's been helping a lot. So bless her, because she be coming up with some good ideas and things of that nature. And that's why now she's my co-host on my IG Lives every Wednesday. And she's been amazing, because she's been coming up with some good topics, good questions. And it's just fun, doing the whole couple thing. So it's just been wonderful.
Supporting each other. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay, so Natalia says, communication is universal. The language helps to function a little more when you're a foreigner. I believe that people like you who travel day by day from place to place are enriched by culture, and that is what makes language so wonderful, that we can communicate and make ourselves understood without mastering a language. See, you don't need to master it. It just needs, and Schoolie Vibes says, please follow me back. And she
definitely
also
will.
says, we all need to support from one another. Absolutely, we all do. We all do.
And it's one thing that I say: if we help each other, we are going to grow.
Yes.
That's the only way,
Yeah.
And that's why I say to Chevy, like we were watching you teachers, and I say, okay, we are going to buy.
Oh my God, the t-shirts are awesome. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So who comes up with the words to it, the phrases to it? Because I love them.
So actually, all the phrases are mine. I sit there and I just think of just funny, travel phrases, things of that nature. And then some of the female, I guess, line of phrases. I try to get my wife involved, and she does, some of them. But a lot of those are just, just mine, just sitting there, just thinking about like, well, like when I say I need more PTO. Well, if you have a 9 to 5, you know what PTO is, paid time off.
Right.
And anybody that loves to have off time, I don't have enough PTO. So it just certain things like that. But I'm actually coming up with another about 5 or 10 t-shirt slogans and phrases. And that's one of the things that's so cool. Seeing somebody wear one of my merch, like, shirts or something like that, it just makes me so happy that I feel like they believe in my dream or my vision. Because and that's one of my things. I'll just try to make the world smaller because there's so much negativity in the world. And, like I know I just went to Guatemala back in April, and, I heard so many horror stories about Guatemala. People like, don't go. Why are you going? It's so unsafe. And I'm talking about, I get there, no issues, no problem. Some of the, nicest, sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And it's just like, man, come on, man. Like, and that's why, like, my videos, you don't see me dogging out a city, dogging out a country. I mean, even if I don't have the greatest experience at a restaurant, whatever, you would never know it because I'm trying to promote, like, just all. I mean, obviously, if I have a bad experience, I would say something. But if it's barring me getting shot or stabbed or hurt, I'm just gonna be like, hey, it was good. I had a good time, and my wife had a good time. Or if I'm solo, hey, just come out, and because your experience might not be my experience, and I'm not believer in that because I heard about Boston. Oh, don't go to Boston. They're racist. I've been to Boston like 2 or 3 times in the last year. Never had a problem. Not one issue. And people looking at me like, oh, did you experience this? No, man. So sometimes you have to look at the person that went and did, because you never know. Because I've lived in South Korea for a year. I lived in Europe for 3 years. And I done met, other people from America who just really are, I don't want to cuss, but, they're just some like a-holes, and you just, you bring their attention to yourself.
Yeah, that sense of entitlement can really get
you. Oh,
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like that. And that's why I don't travel with everybody. I only like-minded travelers. Like, I don't party. I don't, I'm here to really learn about a culture. Like, I want to go to the museums. I want to go on a hike. I just went to my first coffee plantation in Guatemala. Had an amazing time trying coffee. I'm not even a coffee drinker, but now I am.
Me neither.
Guatemala. I would have to say Guatemala coffee and El Salvador. El Salvador got some amazing coffee, and that changed my life. So now I think I got like 4 bags in each country. And I was like, oh yeah.
I'm from Colombia.
Yeah,
and I
like,
don't drink coffee.
I know.
It's just really something about just traveling. Just really puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, I mean, and I also think that you just have to travel with an open mind. Like, I didn't have the greatest of experience in Peru. You and I were in Peru almost at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
I was in Peru from May 10th to May 23rd, 24th, something like that. And I honestly did not have the greatest of experience. There were a few things where I was like borderline appalled of how their treatment is towards animals, towards nature, and it was
Mhm.
just very sad for me to see and experience those things where that
Yes.
wasn't what I expected, honestly. But and I also had a really hard time with the fact that I was actually traveling with my stepmom, a friend of ours, and my two aunts, and they're all ladies that are 65 plus, two of them that are 70 plus. So I would have expected there to be more respect towards the elderly because that is
Mhm.
how I was brought up, and that is
Yeah.
how most Hispanic countries are. And yet that wasn't the case. So for sure, that was a bit of a culture shock. Yet I wouldn't necessarily discourage people from going. I just would say that you have to go with that mindset that it's not like where you live, and it's not necessarily what you probably would expect. And the other thing is, like, don't expect it to look like Instagram posts, because it doesn't. Like, you see all the beautiful, but you don't see some of the things that you really should see, because I think that if we all saw that as how the world is, then we probably would be more inclined to do something about it, right? Like, I
But,
told
but
Andres, like, I hate going to a country where all you do is a tour where, like, they pick you up in the pretty bus at the airport, and then you go from the pretty bus to the beautiful hotel, and then you go to the great restaurants, and then you
Mhm.
just experience all the beautiful things, but you don't see how the country and the people in that country actually live. And so you
Yeah.
are in this pink bubble where everything is just great, and that is not the case,
No.
right? So, and coming obviously from a Hispanic background, I know I've been from Mexico to Panama, every single country, and I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but I just didn't realize how many very, very serious issues are going on that I hope that more people around the world would know. And it has absolutely nothing to do with violence. At no point did I ever feel unsafe, which is one of the things that, like, really triggers us to talk to people when we say we want to take our rig. We have a Toyota camper. Our rig all the way down to Argentina. People are like, "You're gonna get murdered in Mexico. You know that you're gonna get raped in El Salvador." And we're always like, that's not the case. That is what you see in this country, in the news, that happens in those countries, but that is not the case. There's, like, people from all over the world traveling through those
No,
countries,
and
and
I
they haven't
Yep.
had that happen.
and I think it's good people and bad people everywhere.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mhm.
But there's definitely more good people than bad
Exactly.
people in
Yeah.
most
Oh
countries.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just think I tell people all the time, just generally speaking, I think people are just good natured in general.
Exactly.
I mean, you'll find more good people than you'll find bad people. Like I said, I don't believe in the hype of, oh, like you say, I'll get raped, murder, whatever. I know a bunch of solo female travelers, male travelers. Like me personally, to be honest with you, and I've been to a lot of countries and a lot of states. I have never had a bad experience, like not
Mhm.
once. And I mean, like I said, lived on a couple of different continents, and I mean, and I didn't have a ball. Like I never had, because I also look at like my vibe, my
Right.
like what I do. Like I
Your
don't
energy.
go looking for trouble. Like you
Hmm.
won't catch me 3 o'clock in the morning walking down a dark alley with my camera rig talking about some, oh man, they robbed me. Well, you probably should have got robbed. You're walking down this dark alley 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I don't
Mhm.
do that in my home
Right.
state. Like why would I do it in another country?
Right.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, I'm here to capture the essence of the country in the short amount of time that I have. Um, I do. I mean, obviously, since like I said, since I have a job, I don't have forever PTO, so I try to capture as much as possible in those 3, 5, 10 days, however many days I'm there. And obviously, that doesn't do it justice. But I try to uphold like like the gold standard in my mind of like, okay, if you ever wanted to see what Antigua look like, let me walk around. Let me see some of the sights, the views, what you're going to see, what you're going to experience. With some good. Even when I do restaurants, I never go to the big restaurants. Like I always go
Neither
to,
do we.
Mhm.
yeah, like I go to a mom and pop restaurant, somebody who doesn't have, this crazy looking, beautiful website or, whatever, because it might be a place that you might not have heard of.
Yeah.
I always ask a local, like, hey, what's a good spot? Because to me, that has the best food.
Exactly.
Like, I don't need to go to a 5-star restaurant and spend $600. I can go to a mom and pop spot and, that's locally owned, that actually gonna give you that attention. And that's what I look for. So
Yeah, that there's some grandma or some mom cooking a really
oh
amazing
man,
meal in the back.
I can tell somebody's grandmother's back there. I'd be like, man, whoever seasoned this food is they are a superhero.
Right? Yeah. That's our type of cooking too, and our type of what we think about when we travel to other places. Like here in the States, we love going to diners.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah, diners are good.
Like real diners, not like not like Denny's or Norm's, but like a real diner at some country diner.
Yeah, we want to go to the middle of the country. We want to go to the Mississippi because
Andres has really wanted to go to the Mississippi because he used to read the Mark Twain books, and so we saw you went there too, right?
Yeah, I went to Mark Twain, and that was Hartford, Connecticut. I did that with my wife. I was so upset I couldn't record inside, but it is a beautiful home. I think they got like 20-something bedrooms, and
wow.
And it's freaky. It's only because the architect they was only building like churches, so the house really looks like a church on the inside. Like it looked like, okay, there should be like a pulpit, and it's just weird, and it's super dark inside.
Huh.
Like it's just like, I don't know who. Like I said, it's just weird. And then like literally 30 steps from Mark Twain was Harriet Beecher Stowe house. And she's famous for publishing and writing Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Right.
And her house is completely opposite. It's nice. You got beautiful windows. I mean, you can see all through the house. It's just really lit up. And then Mark Twain was just all dark and dank, and it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it was just too dark for me. But it was absolutely amazing. I can only imagine what it looked like when it was first built, and that time period.
Yeah, he hasn't done much of the East Coast. We went last June. One of my cousins got married in Pennsylvania, and so we ended up taking a little bit more time, and my uncle loaned us his car, and so we ended up going into Amish country. That was amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
The food is amazing.
And I could have sworn that the best fried chicken was Southern fried chicken. Let me tell you, the best fried chicken I've ever had is Amish.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Amazing fried chicken. And then
you are talking to a chef.
Yeah, and then they do these like pickled vegetables that they call chow chow. Oh, Lord, that is so good. So good. We had like 4 jars in our suitcase, which of course got taken away.
Wow.
But I was ready to like just.
She was so sad.
I was like, I can't believe this got taken away.
And that's the thing about food. Food brings people together.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care if you speak the same language or not. Food is universal.
Right.
And like I said, like I go places. I try. Well. Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack. I've just started getting out of my comfort zone last year. And when I mean like my palate was very, very like a small window. Like I'm not a big seafood eater and things like that. So I've been trying, like every place I go, I try to try something new. And I'm just building myself up until I eat like a spider or something. But that's my plan. My plan is to eat a spider, like some type of like, I don't know, grasshopper or something like that.
Yeah,
within the next year, because like I know next year I got plans to go to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam.
Ooh, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do all 3. I'm gonna try to like take like 3 or 4 weeks of leave and do like a week in each country.
Vietnam has been my favorite country to go to.
Really?
I can move there in a heartbeat.
Really?
So many different things. I mean, if I wasn't privileged enough and fortunate enough to be Costa Rican and that I own property in Costa Rica, I would move there in a heartbeat. Everything about it. The food was amazing. The weather was just delicious. Everything is so fresh and green. And then their sense of family really just resonated with me. So most of their houses are multi-generational homes. And the original parents will buy a lot and build a house, a 1-story house, and then the kids, when they get older and married,
they add to it.
they add to it, and then their kids will add on a
Yep.
third floor. And the whole concept is that the younger generation takes care of the older generation, and the older generation always feels needed and imparts their wisdom onto the younger generation. And even when you pass away, you never leave that property because they actually bury their dead in the backyard.
That's the
Yeah, I
way
heard about that.
everywhere.
So I thought that it was just so beautiful in the
Mhm.
sense that, that whole concept of it takes a village to raise a kid, that
Yeah.
is lived there. Whereas, like, I think I've lived so many years in this country that has never really clicked with me. The sense that families here, you have a brother, like even I do. I have a brother in New Jersey, a sister in Pennsylvania, a brother in, I can't remember if he's in Alabama or in Kentucky. He also is in the army, so they're always moving him around. I have a brother and a sister in Costa Rica. So we're all in different places, and yes, we're all brothers and sisters, and when we get together, it's definitely family time and the whole thing, but it's not the same that if you're like raising all your cousins together and all your, you're like that relationship with like aunts and uncles and grandparents and everything. And as you get older, especially once your parents start passing, in my case, I lost my dad a couple of years ago.
Ooh, sorry to hear that.
Not even a couple of years ago.
In 2020.
Yeah, end of 2020.
Mhm.
So, that definitely hits harder, right? When you realize you no longer have any parents, you no longer have any grandparents, and all the things that you wish that you would have asked, all the things that you wish that you would have documented somehow so that you would have been able to pass it on to the next generation.
Mhm.
I just think that when you are there living with them, maybe culturally we just don't think about it that way. Most people might think, oh my God, how annoying. I don't want all the family around. But when you don't have that and you wish you had it, it's just,
Yeah.
so you will love it. It's amazing.
I'm definitely blessed to say meeting my wife really instilled family values.
Mm.
Because in my family, like you said, like I was raised with my cousins and brother and stuff like that, but that's like a lost thing now. Like, like now I have a brother, he have kids. I never see my nephew and nieces like maybe once a year, stuff like that. But meeting my wife, her family, they're just super big on family time. So they purposely 2 or 3 times a year, we all get together for a week, i.e., that's the reason why we're in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So all the cousins, they hang out for a week. They all know each other. It's not weird. Like, I don't know who you are. Which cousin is,
Right.
and we all just hang out and we don't do nothing. I mean, I don't say we don't do nothing, but like, we just hang out. Like matter of fact, today we went to the movies. I took my kids to see Buzz Lightyear, which was a great movie. If you guys want to check it out, definitely was a good movie.
We love Disney movies.
Yeah, and it just, like I say, it's just like a beautiful thing to me, family. And
Right.
I've met so many people, like you say, Egypt. It's the same concept, how they build on top of the houses, for the next generation, things of that nature. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to bring love to the world. That's the main point.
Yeah.
Everybody's equal.
Maybe we'll join you on your trip of Southeast Asia next year because
Man,
that's
I tell you right now, people think I'm crazy, stranger danger. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I will travel with anybody that's like-minded. If you into the culture, you want to do things of that nature, I am all about that. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do with my company is sponsor, trips or cultivate trips, and just bring people along and be like, hey, it's 5 of us, 10 of us, however many people there is in
Stephanie
this,
says
let's
the
go hang
showboat
out.
too.
I'm telling you, I have met so many wonderful people where, hikers, people that do the RV campers and stuff. I know people that converted their SUVs into, campers,
Right.
People with disabilities, and some stuff really just kind of made me like more aware. Like, it's one family, Accessible Adventures. I love them to death. And they are RVers, but like their son, Robbie, he has a disability, and it's like it's like it does not stop them. They are all over the place, traveling, having a great time. And I just love that. And she actually made me more aware of places that are not accessible. And I'm just like, wow, because I just take for granted. I can pretty much do anything I really want physically, and it just never dawned on me that you have people that cannot.
Right.
And it just so now I'm trying to be more conscious of when I go places to kind of try to read. Okay, is this accessible? Is it not? Things of that nature and stuff like that, just to spread the word on that as well, because I think that's very important.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. More national parks are becoming more aware of it too.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And for different how you say ethnicities.
Ethnicities.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's another big thing with us. Like we go to all the national parks, and that was one of the things that we really had a goal to visit most of the national parks in this country. We collect our little patches of it, and
Magnets.
and one for her refrigerator and RV, and for sure it's one of the things that we get sad about, that we don't see enough people of other cultures and other ethnicities at national parks, at state parks, just roaming around, traveling around. It's very limited. We've
No, but I saw so many Asians. Asians I saw it, but not like
but
Hispanics.
ironically, I feel like a lot of the Asians that are traveling national parks are not Asians that live here. Are
Exactly.
Asians that have come from Japan, from Korea, from China,
Yeah.
and are coming to look at those places, but not the Asians that live here.
Mhm.
Hispanics, very, very little, and probably the least that we see are African Americans.
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah.
in fact, we would get super excited when we would find a YouTube channel of an African American that would have an RV and that lived nomadically. We're like, oh my God, there's another one, like because they're like counted with one hand, and it was just.
We saw this like one that is maybe.
Oh yeah, we like them. My goodness, I can't remember their channel, but they're also pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, so that's one of the things that we try to encourage people to, because I think that it is very much a cultural situation. Like Hispanic parents of our parent generations would never, right? They're even our parents, they think we're a little crazy to be doing this, right? They're like, how are you going to make money? How are you going to do a living? What are you going to do when you're older? What's going to happen when, all these questions, you
need to work from 8 to 6
all
the time.
And they're all related to like your economical situation. How are you going to afford this? How are you going to do that? I don't get it. How are you guys just going to travel all the time? And they're like, well, no, we could do this and we could do that. And, all these little bits of money hopefully will start trickling in, and that, and when you're just living this way, you don't need that much money. We don't spend money on expensive clothes, and we don't spend money on I don't know, typical girl things. Like I don't have a collection of purses or shoes, or it's just not the thing. I'd rather go eat a nice meal or go visit a nice park. So I'm like, we all have our priorities on what we spend our money on. We have our priority, which is travel.
Mhm.
So, but that being said, I think that is part of it, right? Like the majority of Latinos that come to this country, they come to this country to work, and they kill themselves working, and that's what they do. They just wake up every morning, they go to a job.
Three jobs.
Some of them have 3 jobs. They're trying to support their kids, and then maybe the next generation, they go to college, they get an education, they finally get a good job, they help out their parents, and then the parents and everybody is in a better situation, but they still put in their mentality that what you have to have is a college degree, and then you're just going to kill yourself working at whatever that degree is for the rest of your life until you finally retire, and then maybe then you get to enjoy that. So it always makes us happy to find other like-minded people that are like, I don't want to be in that rat race. That is not my lifestyle. I don't necessarily. I have 4 college degrees. Ask me what I do with them.
Hey, that's a whole nother discussion, because I'm telling you, I could talk about college degrees and stuff like that, and like I said, I'm all about education, but yeah, I definitely could talk about that for another hours, because I have 5 kids, and that's another thing people get blown away. They be like, "You got 5 kids? How you how you got money to do anything or time or whatever?" Like I said, my wife, she really does hold me down, and And like I said, like when I went to the military, I mean, she had it's quite a few times that she had to be the mother and the father. So she's very equipped with the tools for success. And like I said, she's actually to be so truth be told, she's the one that actually pushed me to even do this journey. She was just like, "Hey man, you've been a lot of places. You love talking about travel. Why don't you, create a Instagram page?" And then, like I said, that kind of spiraled to the YouTube thing. But
Mm.
this is all her doing, and
Well,
she's
thank
always
goodness for
been
her.
supportive of me traveling. She knows how important it was. Like, my first time out the country was to go to Iraq, and I was so scared. But yes, that's another story too. But like, my first time out the country was going to Iraq, going to war, whatever. I got a million thoughts going through my mind, like, what does Iraq look like? What is this? And then my first time actually living overseas was in South Korea, and I had a ball. I lived on the economy, immersed myself in the community. I had a South Korean driver's license, and I just drove around South Korea. Just I didn't do as much as I wanted to do, and that's the thing about it too. It's time. You
Right.
know, like I had a friend that told me something that always stuck with me, that we all get the same 24 hours. Like, when you see somebody that's successful, you be like, man, what they doing? Yeah, well, they don't get 27 hours. They get 24. And it's
Right.
all about, like you said, what you do with your time, what you do with your money. Everything is, feasible, but you might have to sacrifice. And a lot of people, truth be told, are not willing to sacrifice. So,
Mhm.
Or be uncomfortable. That's another thing, right?
oh
There's
yeah, I
that
had somebody
thing-
tell me that too. Get
yeah,
out your comfort zone.
right.
And that's
It's not
I've
easy
definitely been out of
sometimes.
my comfort zone a couple of times
Yeah, yeah.
in the
When you
last
travel,
year.
I mean, unless I guess you had a buttload of money that you could be traveling like 5-star hotels at all given times, you're going to be out of your comfort zone. It is what it is. And even if you did have that money, I mean, like you can go to all the 5-star hotels in India. The moment you walked out that door, you're still going to experience what India is.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, and that's just the truth for a lot of countries. Um, I'm just putting India out there because it's such a heavy experience from every point of view. So, but that's the reality of things. Unless you're going to be in that bubble, like I said, from the bus to the hotel to the train to the this to the that, and not really see what the country is about. Which
It's been real too.
yeah, it defeats the purpose of,
Mhm.
of traveling and getting to know other cultures, because the whole idea is to make you more of a wholesome person.
Yeah, and like what we do, like we are kind of helping somebody in Colombia. We are kind of promoting like the trash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of our big pet peeves, that every time we travel, we end up picking up all this trash. And so that was one of the things that was very shocking to me about Peru.
Mm.
And so for a while now, we've been supporting this endeavor in Nuki, Colombia, that they're turning trash into bricks for construction.
Mhm.
So they have picked up 6 tons of trash
The community.
Wow.
that comes in from the
Mhm.
ocean to create this. Very interesting, and they have several really good ideas about how to deal with this problematic. That is worldwide. It's not just in one country or another.
Yeah.
And we are trying to help them now to continue doing this for the future of the world, because we need to change in some way somehow.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to do, incorporate within the next year or so. Finding different programs as far as like giving back, whether it's, like I said, I do have a full-time job, so I can't do it forever. But, if I can get like a 1 week of, helping out, whether it be clearing out like a lot, or, giving out supplies to, children that, that really needs it and things of that nature. That's stuff that I just like giving back. Like I've, volunteered to be coaches in my own community. Did that for years. And then I kind of got away from it because of this whole travel thing and, having my full-time job. But like, I love, just teaching kids something, like just opening their eyes to something new. And, one of the things that really makes me happy is that my kids, as they develop and go through school and learn different things, They'll be like, "Oh, Dad, I learned about this," and I'd be like, "Oh, I've been there. You been there?" You know, it's so that's the reason why I really love my YouTube channel. I might not have 1 billion subscribers or 1 billion views, but I'm doing something positive, like
Right.
something that I'm proud of, that my mother, my aunt, and my kids can watch. Like, you're not gonna come on my channel and see me drunk and falling all over the place and, you know, whatever. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm representing. I'm representing something that I want people to be inspired.
Right.
I want to show somebody,
It's what we do.
you know,
Yeah.
it's something different out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's for us as well. We try to show people all the different beautiful things, but be realistic about things too, and then, you know, educate. I think that none of the things that are wrong with the world nowadays are never going to get any better if we just don't prioritize education
Mm-hmm.
worldwide, because they just, you know, sometimes it's like the whole problematic with trash. It's not that people just don't know. It's like they, you know, that they don't care. It's more like they don't know, or like the system doesn't provide a way to get rid of it in a more sustainable way. But on top of it, getting rid of it or finding a way to dispose of it in a better way, it's more of like, just stop using it at all. You know, like, let's just find a different way for that trash not to be produced in the first place. And then it won't be a problem.
Yeah, because
That's-
affect everything.
And that's like with everything, right? Like when you live in a van or in a car or anything, you take showers that are super, super short. It's like you get yourself wet, you turn off the water, then you get yourself soapy, then you turn the water back on.
3 minutes.
You know, and it's like,
Oh, I know about that.
And
The
so,
Army taught me that.
you know, so it's like those type of things where I'm like, we abuse the fact that if we're inside a house, you're just leaving the faucet on at all given times, or your, you know, shower head at all given times. And so those are the things, like we're having a huge problematic with water in California. And I'm like, why is that? You know, like, because people are just abusing of this natural resource that it's going to end at one point. Where we're going to find more of it, I don't know. You know, and it worries me that the future wars of the world are going to be around water. They're no longer going to be around oil, because we can all live without gas or whatever oil produces, but we can't live without water. So, you know, there's definitely things that we need to make people more conscious about.
For future generation, I don't know. That's the main point.
Yeah, we don't even have kids and we worry about it, you know, let alone someone like you that has 5 kids that eventually are going to have more kids that obviously have to leave a world and a planet too. Yeah,
that's like I said, I'm enjoying life right now, and I have so many friends that actually now they're reaching out to me. You know, they're like, "Oh, you know, you went there, you went here," and it's like making me feel okay. I'm starting to reach people, even though they're not like watching my videos and they're not commenting, but you're watching. You know, you like, you like, hey, you're asking questions, and I'm like, all right, at least that's sparking some type of interest in traveling. And because I'll be honest with you, I can't stand people that just go to the same spots every year or whatever. Like they only want to go to Miami, or they only want to go to Atlanta, or they only want to go to Jamaica, or, you know, someone like, oh man, the world is huge. Like go different places. And when people ask me, like, I think I told somebody I was going to Ecuador, and it was like, why? And I'm like, and oh my gosh, that hurts. That frustrates me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean, why? I'm like, why not? Like, what's the problem? You know, I had people ask me, when I was living in Europe, hey, man, I'm about to go to Portugal. For what? What's in Portugal? And I'm just like, dude, like, you know how much history's in Portugal or Spain or France or, you know, all these different countries, you know? So I don't know, because I'm not a resort person. So actually, I can't stand resorts.
Me neither.
I just like every time I ask people like about Jamaica, because they only go to the resorts, I'd be like, man, how was Jamaica? Oh man, it was so beautiful. I was, you know, at this resort. And I'm like, okay, well, what'd you do out the resort? Oh, we didn't go out the resort. Well, you didn't see Jamaica. They're like, you know, you saw a fraction of a beach, and you was at the pool or you was in the water, you know, and that's it. You know, what does the country look like? What is the culture? So I don't know. I just, that bothers me.
Yeah. Sergio Acevedo says hello. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
That's exactly what I tell people all the time too. In fact, even when people ask me to go to Costa Rica, I'm like, okay, what kind of tourist do you want to be? Are you the kind of tourist that wants to go to an all-inclusive, sit down by the pool and have somebody bring you Mai Tais? Or are you the kind of tourist that really wants to get to know the country? Because then that's a whole other language.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
I actually had that as a topic on my IG Live. Are you a traveler or a tourist? And like a lot of people couldn't, they was like, what's the difference? And I had to, go into this spiel, at least my definition of a traveler or a tourist. But
right.
and it was a good conversation, and a lot of people was like, oh, I guess I'm a tourist. Like, yeah, you are. Like, and there's nothing wrong being a tourist. So I'm not knocking nobody that one, because whatever makes you comfortable, be that,
Right.
but for me, like, I want to see more than just, let's say, the Statue of Liberty. Like, I want to see more. Like, I want to go to a local restaurant. I want to go to, a festival or, whatever. I just want to just be there and just actually be in the community. So, I mean, that's just how I am. And my wife is the same way. So it's easy to travel with her because she's down to explore as well.
Nice. That's always very important to obviously have somebody that is kind of with you in the same craziness. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's been like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Wow,
I know. I appreciate it.
We're going to need way more many hours.
I really appreciate you guys inviting me on here. I mean, I have great conversation, and I definitely want to talk to you more about this Costa Rica stuff.
Yeah, take us up on the offer. Me for Costa Rica, and if you want to go to Colombia, Andres.
Oh, I've been to Colombia. Colombia is definitely Colombia's just my top three. Definitely my top three. I love. I spent like a week and some change there, and I went to Cartagena and Medellin. I want to go to Cali, and I want to go Cali, Bogota, and it's another city up north. Starts with a B.
Probably the most beautiful place that you can go.
Barranquilla.
No.
There you go. Yeah, I want to go.
The most beautiful place that you can go is around El Eje Cafetero, because you can see all the coffee plantations there. The most amazing coffee is from there. Eje Cafetero is Quindío, Caldas, and parts of Antioquia is where you can go. And it's really, really beautiful. It's green.
Oh man, Colombia is Colombia in general is just beautiful. I went to Guadalupe. I climbed the rock.
Guatapé.
Guatapé.
Yeah, well, I know that thing was like 800 some steps, and it almost killed me getting up top. And I got up top, and it was beautiful, and I was just like, wow. So yeah, definitely, Colombia is definitely beautiful country. Definitely.
I will not be doing that. I don't think that physically or emotionally I'm capable of doing that.
No,
I'm afraid of heights.
She will.
I don't know.
All right, my wife is waving me on. She's like, people are starting to leave.
I know. All right, we'll let you go.
Oh no problem. Thank you for having me on.
Have a good night. Say good night to everybody.
Bye.
All right, good night.
Bye.
Bye.